Welcome back to ISRAA'S world. Hi everyone. I'm so happy you're back. Today I want to tell you about the start of our adventure in Azerbaijan. It was one of the most exciting trips ever, and I can't wait to share it with you. We were driving through big green hills. The road twisted and turned, and every time we looked out the window, something new appeared. Little stone houses, sheep grazing in fields, tall trees swaying in the wind, and sometimes kids running along the roadside waving at us. The air was so fresh. I could smell the grass, flowers, and even a little smoke from chimneys. It felt magical. Then we saw something I will never forget. A tiny restaurant by the side of the road. It looked so cozy, like a little house with wooden tables outside, but the first thing I noticed wasn't even the restaurant. A man was riding a horse. Yes, a real shiny brown horse. He looked so calm, and the horse walked so gracefully I couldn't stop staring. I kept saying, "Wow, look at the horse, wow!" My parents laughed at me, but I didn't care. It was amazing. We went inside the restaurant, and the smell made my tummy rumble. Warm bread, fresh herbs, and something sizzling on a hot pan. Then I saw her, a kind lady, standing next to a big round metal griddle. She was rolling dough, putting something inside, folding it carefully, and cooking it until it had golden brown spots. My mom told me it was called Qutab, a very famous Azerbaijani food. I had never seen anything like it. Qutab is like a thin bread or pancake with a filling inside. The filling can be fresh green herbs like parsley, dill, or spinach, or it can have cheese, pumpkin, or minced meat. After folding it, it cooks on a hot pan called a sarch. Sometimes they sprinkle it with a tangy spice called sumac or serve it with yogurt. We couldn't decide which ones to try, so our parents and grandparents ordered both vegetarian and non-vegetarian qutabs. When they came, the vegetarian ones were green and soft, smelling fresh and amazing. The meat ones smelled rich and savory. I took a bite, and oh my goodness, it was perfect. Warm, soft, and full of flavor. Everyone at the table loved it. My grandparents even said, "This is the best qutab we've ever had." I nodded and said, "Me too." While we were eating, the man on the horse came inside to get his meal. People kept coming and going, greeting each other, ordering food, and drinking tea. Tea is super important in Azerbaijan. They serve it in tiny tulip-shaped glasses. It smells amazing, and you drink it slowly while talking. I tried it too, and it was sweet and warm, and it made everything taste even better. We stayed longer than we planned because it was so cozy. The lady kept making qutab over and over. Roll, fill, fold, cook. Her hands moved so fast. Even while working, she smiled at everyone. I thought, wow, she's really good at this. I wish I could make qutab like her someday. When we finally stepped outside, the sun was low, painting everything golden. The horse was still outside, standing calmly. The air was cooler, and I could still smell the bread from inside. I took a deep breath and said, "This is the best day ever." Even the hills and trees looked magical. I kept seeing little flowers, birds, and sometimes butterflies landing on the window for a moment. I said, "Hi, little butterfly." Mom laughed and said, "You're talking to everything today." But I couldn't help it. Everything felt so magical. The road kept twisting, and I felt like a little explorer. I imagined myself on an adventure through a storybook land. I thought about the Qutab lady: roll, fill, fold, cook. I wanted to try, but I was afraid it wouldn't taste as good. Still, just watching her was amazing. My family laughed and tasted the Qutab together. I smiled and said, "I want to eat 100 of these." We all drank tea, and the warm smell made me feel cozy. The sunlight was golden, the hills glowing, and the horse outside still looked calm and beautiful. I thought, I will remember this forever. Even little things felt special. The dough bubbled a little on the griddle before turning golden. The herbs in the vegetarian Qutab looked like spring. The meat in the non-vegetarian Qutab smelled so yummy, I could almost taste it again while talking. The restaurant was small, but it felt like the coziest place in the world. Wooden tables, colorful cloths, and a warm, welcoming feeling. I wished I could live there for a week and eat Qutab every day. When we left, I waved goodbye to the lady and said, "Thank you, your Qutab was amazing." She smiled and waved back. The man on the horse was still outside, glowing in the sunset. I felt like I had stepped into a fairy tale. The road back was still magical. The hills looked softer in the sunset. The sky turned orange and pink, and little birds flew around. I kept pointing out everything to my family. "Look, a sheep! Look, a butterfly! Look at that tree!" I felt like I was in a big story, and I wanted to remember everything. I thought about how lucky I was to see all this with my family. Parents, grandparents, all of us together. Sharing this amazing moment made me so happy. I kept saying "wow" over and over because everything was so beautiful. I could hear the wind in the trees and birds singing. I felt like I was part of a magical story. The horse outside made everything perfect. Calm, strong, beautiful. Even though I couldn't pet him, just seeing him made me happy. The sunset made everything glow golden. The air was cool and fresh. I felt like I could stay there forever. Even little things, flowers, hills, smoke from chimneys, looked magical. I realized this was just the beginning of our Azerbaijan adventure, but it already felt like a story I would tell forever. The little restaurant, the lady making Qutab, the horse, my family laughing and eating together, everything felt perfect. I kept thinking, I want to remember this forever, and that's why I'm sharing it with you today. Even small moments can be magical if you notice them. I hope you like my story. Thank you for coming with me on ISRAA'S world today.